Alright, this will be the first game I will be uploading. I don't know how many I'll upload, but I figure if I have a game that I think is fun or that I'm proud of or something like that, I'm going to try to record them, if only just because the replay system is kind of buggy. So if there is a touching replay that I want to save as a keepsake or anything like that, I'm going to have to record it this way if I want to make sure that I have it. So, without further ado, let's start the match, and we'll go at 2 times to start, just because the very early game is a little moderate. Let's go ahead and reveal the whole map. We got my buddy, not really my buddy, but just my random teammate, playing the Delhi Sultanate. This is his first game playing as the Delhi Sultanate. He has played previous Age of Empires titles, apparently, but this was his first time playing this character, or this civ. Me, I'm on the French. I only play the French. Not necessarily just because they're considered overpowered. If they nerf them, I will probably continue to keep playing them. I just really like the French. We've got the English up here. Orm 450, if I remember correctly. He was at about a 50-50 win rate, around 20 games at this time of playing. Then I had my eyes on TKT because he was 9 wins for 9 games. So in this game, he actually was on an undefeated streak, which it makes sense. You'll see why these two have been successful as a team going forward, at the very least in the bracket that I'm playing at, because I know for sure my hidden MMR or whatever is not the best. In any case, I'm just gonna go back to the Fog of War. I am exploring the map. I'm gonna go look for an enemy. I've found as many sheep as I think that I need for the time being. I'm gonna gauge up with the School of Cavalry, which, whoa, I bet you didn't see that one coming. My buddy in the Delhi Sultanate here. I'm pretty sure that he goes up a little late. I'm actually the first to beetle in this match. By like a minute or so margins. I think everybody's just kind of taking their time. For me, I like to get the feudal as soon as possible because there's 2 things that I want to do in every match, and that's get my School of Cavalry working and starting to make knights, and then I also want to get a second town center up as soon as possible. So my general strategy starting off every game is that you can see I've already got mining camp queued up. I'm going to have my 4 villagers that get off my School of Cavalry, go straight to harvesting stone. I throw about 5 or 6 villagers on wood, and then I get, 4 or 5 vills in the hunts, some vills on the sheep, just enough to keep villagers going, and then hopefully get some knights out as well. And hopefully you're not losing my voice in this swell of sound effects, so this game can get pretty loud. It's not really an issue when you're playing it, but maybe replays won't be as good. Over here we got my allies going Tower of Victory. I'm not necessarily sure. Well, that's cool. Okay. So infantry that move near this building permanently gain attack speed. That's pretty good. I think that's kind of weird because that does kind of mean that your infantry, you're kind of, in order to use it, you're kind of forced to build all your barracks around here and try to get your units to walk by it, right? So it is a little awkward later in the game when you're trying to make forward bases. And the Delhi player is, honestly, this is probably a good idea, is to get some infantry up and get them building palisade walls. I think it's worth doing early on. Just because the Delhi, you really want to get to late game as them. As far as I know, their early on game isn't incredibly great. I'm just building knights. I'm building a second stable. Because it's a more open night, or it's a more open map, I want more knights. I'll normally try to get away with just building School of Cavalry, but if I feel as if I should, I'll double my force output by building a stable. Gold. food. I have my second town center going up over here next to the giant stone pile, and also next to this gold mine here, just to secure those resources. There's also like, you know, like a hunt and berries over here, so it's generally a good spot to be. I'm getting on my hunts. I'm moving out with my knights. If I remember correctly, I did see some archers over here. Yep. The French knights are going to go in, and they're going to collide with their lances. And I don't know, this guy lost like 500, 600 resources in units here. And then the spears come, and that's a little scary. I don't have a blacksmith up. I don't have my defense upgrades, and even then, that's a fairly scary group of spearmen. You don't want to fight spearmen in equal numbers with your knights early on. Chivalry did just complete though, so they are going to start generating health out of combat. That means as long as I'm hitting and running, I should be able to help my ally defend quite efficiently. He sends the battering ram in, unprotected though, not a very good idea. I do get quite a bit of damage on that before something happens. He said, we've got the Delhi sending in his spearmen. He's got two very brave boys that are going to go out and do some damage. The nice thing is that they actually do absorb some hits, and they let my knights get in, grab some hits. So unfortunately, I do lose a couple of knights there. But those spearmen are going to finish off that battering ram. My knights are slowly but surely... Yeah, look at that guy. There we go. Slowly but surely going to take out these longbowmen. And they do manage to take out another one of my knights, which is kind of sad. But 4 or 5, 6 knights left on the field. I am pumping them out of my buildings. I'm still building villagers. I do have 2 TCs, which I'm curious. Alright, so I do have a town center lead on red. And Jarvis has hit the castle age. My ally here. He's going very hard on eco, which is good. He needs to get into the castle age and start getting his tech up so that he can actually start getting to his good techs, good units. Blue up here. He's still working off a 1 town center. Same as red. So this might have been one of the reasons why I ended up being able to stick in there so well this game, is just because I got that second TC up, and thanks to the French bonus where I make villagers 15% faster. That's just going to compound over the course of the game. As long as I keep those up and running, which I seem to be, yeah. I did pop cap myself, which, you know, that is not good. What are you going to do? Alright, so... checking on yellow here. House of Learning. He is getting honed blades, which that's great. He's starting to make some men-at-arms. Outposts. Blacksmith is working. He's getting armor upgrades. That's good. It looks like he's going to go in and get a bunch of men-at-arms here, which that's good. I mean, he's going infantry. I appreciate that. I am, for now, I'm just making knights because they're good. With the Royal Institute up, I'm going to go to get Royal Bloodlines as soon as possible and build a 3rd town center. So now that I'm in Castle Age, there's a lot of upgrades on the table. I should, yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, no. I should start getting blacksmith upgrades here very soon. I'm just stacking up knights. I don't really know what Yellow's military strategy is, but I do see he has some spearmen up here. And I know that if I go knights, I don't know, they're French knights, so you can't really go wrong that way. My scout. I am seeing that blue has some exposed miners and stuff. However, I never ended up going up to do too much screwing around because the English are really good at defending, and I was fairly confident that he had a, like, I'm pretty sure I spotted his military and it was fairly large, so I just didn't feel like running up if I didn't need to. I wasn't too scared of him attacking, so I just kind of doubled down and kept my town centers working. I am starting to build a wall. Not the most incredible wall, but I think the idea was that I wanted to make sure that nobody was sneaking units in the back here. So I kind of plugging that off. More or less, he had to come through my base where I could see him before anyone could attack me, especially with my ally right here. I'm moving my knights up because I do want to make a move. I do see a very a modest retinue of spearmen here, ready to do some damage. My production of military is slowing down. I'm not sure what I'm saving up for at this point. I do have lots of... See, this is where like the random map generation really can get you down, because at this point I'm looking at the map and I know if I try to start some sort of war of attrition here, I'm not going to get super far just because all the double golds are on the enemy side of the map. Like, even most of my gold is over here. I have a gold mine here, and this mine, which actually just got depleted. So, seeing that at this point, luckily I am playing the French, so I have French trade. So I did ping Yellow to make a market right here, and I'm very thankful to him because he did get on that right away. So seeing that he made his markets, and I built 2 markets because, you know, why not, honestly. Just the faster you can get those trade cards out, the better. So twice as fast is good. There wasn't a lot of space to build 3, sadly, so I didn't. And again, I don't know, maybe I could have built my market up here and then started trading with the neutral trade post, although I'm kind of glad that I went ahead and did them here because Yellow ends up making some trade as well. And Yellow does get the sacred site. We go in to hit blue here. Now, you're going to see something funny. You're going to see the most pathetic and buggy-ass pathfinding that you may have ever seen in this game. It is absolutely, I have no idea. The knights are just bumping up against each other quite a bit. Yellow does go to put some damage on the council hall, but we can see that red has been spamming up a lot of camel archers. At this point, I knew I couldn't pull out my units, but I was also kind of panicking because I knew red had a big army. And as soon as he saw our army died, I had a feeling that he was going to just come and... Well, he was going to start coming towards my base. So very shortly, yeah, I put down a bunch more stables. I do have a keep down, which is great. That's reducing the cost of the cavalry that's coming out of these buildings by 20%. And I do have canted saddles and royal bloodlines up. I'm going to start building stone walls. This was another very good decision by me. Not to my own horn. I mean, I could have done a lot better. I probably should have put this wall up sooner, honestly, if I was worried about keeping myself plugged in. But I didn't feel like spending the stone. And now that I know that red is coming for me, the stone cost is no object. And I'm not too worried about... Yeah, I've just got some Hail Mary villagers out here. I'm kind of hoping that my enemy is not going to be scouting very well. I'm going to try to get as much gold as I can out of these piles until my trade is up and running, which it is. I'm making trade carts. I don't forget about that. Then I'm also putting down archery ranges. I found with the French that if I'm going to build a trash unit, I really do feel like the archers are a really good pair for the knights. maybe I should have gone spearmen to fight against the camel archers, but I kind of figured the spearmen would just not be able to hit the camel archers very well, and I'm more worried about taking out the spearmen that they're both making, because I know red was going spearmen earlier, and I want to take out the infantry and stuff. I feel like the knights are generally powerful enough as a frontline shock unit that just the archers, it's good food and wood sink just to create some ranged DPS, and then of course I can slap a keep down, and then they become way more cost effective than spearmen would ever be once that keep gets down, which I should be putting that down soon because I do have the blues attacking. I'm going to try to take out his units as fast as possible because I want to reduce the numbers of the enemy. If he's going to feed me units, I got to take them. Yeah, here comes the keep. So we're going to start building archers out of here. I notice I do have a lot of food and wood, which is good, but I'm not going to be able to make a lot more knights, even though they're discounted. Starting to make enlistment incentives so that I will be able to make use of these keeps a little better. Blacksmith, I have Castle Age armor upgrades. I do need balanced projectiles. Probably just not thinking about that at this moment. And the military academy would have been really good too, but we have the battering rams and the trebuchet coming in and putting a hole in this wall. I am pinging like a madman for yellow to come bring some help, and he does. He does bring a couple of tower war elephants, which are really great to see. They're absolute juggernauts, so they're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. And then the man-at-arms are great too. Man-at-arms and the spearmen. Do try to hold them up with my knights for just a moment to get some archers out. The archers are not... The archers are going to do versus spearmen. They're not going to do so great versus the camels, but they are just... They're doing damage. Could be much worse. Putting up houses. I'm kind of scrambling at this point. This keep is more or less holding. I get a few villagers out to start repairing it, but I don't want to pull them off because I'm going to start making a lot of units really fast here. Veteran sees up on the archers. They do okay. It's good to know that they do okay versus the camel archers because what was that, like 2 armor, and they do 8 damage. Could be a lot worse. The longbowmen, of course, are a lot better, but what are you gonna do? I really don't want to lose this keep because it makes my knights very expensive. Yellow is... He's streaming in units. He was probably not prepared for this, to be honest. So, for the most part, I'm kind of defending this on my own. That's okay. Because it's working. There's only a trebuchet left for the keep. I don't think it can out-damage 3 repairing villagers. The Royal Knights are doing exactly what I need them to do because these longbowmen are only doing like 4 damage each hit to them, and they have 310 health thanks to them being fully upgraded at this age. The mangonel's not really getting the money hits off. I didn't actually realize this mangonel was there. It means that yeah, it was not hitting who it needed to hit basically. The Tower War Elephant is coming in to put a stop to that. There we go, perfect. Great, and the trebuchet is packed up. At the very least, it's not firing, so I can't see it on the screen. So, seeing that enemy get taken out like that and their offensive crumbling, finally, I'm ecstatic because my infrastructure is in great shape. I have 2 keeps ready to start pumping out. Like, this is exactly where you want to be as the French, where you have keeps in your base, surrounded by production buildings. I am able to make archers, 24 food and 40 wood each. Knights, some of the best, strongest units in the game. 112 food, 80 gold. That is not bad at all. That is less than 200 resources each. And I'm fairly certain at this point, yeah, I'm going for siege engineering. I didn't actually end up using this, but I was feeling a little hasty. I probably should have canceled that and went for something else. Instead, what I'm trying to do is I want to get a keep up on this gold, because I need to, if I'm not going to move into their base and kill them, I need to make a move, and securing this 5,000 gold here is a move, that's for sure. These gold veins are not going to last forever. They are starting to go. I'm very lucky to have them. In terms of trade carts, I have 15, 18. That's great, actually. My eco is really strong at 134 economy units, and I've been keeping the idleness down for the most part. So putting up another keep, I'm planning on putting up a forward base, so I can create ranged units. I just want to create units closer to the battlefield, because I don't want my units running from all the way here to here if I can, if I need to start playing a War of Attrition. We have Tower War Elephants. They have their crossbow upgrades up, which is great. They're going to start doing great damage. He's got a little retinue of... I did ping that because I saw a red unit over here because I thought maybe he was going to go attack yellow, but it was just capturing the sacred site at this point. I wasn't too worried about that. This wolf is making my screen light up. It took me a bit to actually smarten up and kill that. I'll spoil it for you though, because I want to come back that the this villager does live. I don't exactly let her die. She's gonna make it. More trade carts coming up. I've got 3-4 town centers. I've got a college of artillery going up. Because I felt like I needed to get H4 because I knew blue and red, yeah, and yellow. Everyone else is in H4. Yellow's been doing a great job of keeping up in tech, getting his units ready for the late game fight, and he's provided just enough so that we could defend the attack on his base and the attack on my base. So, you know, he's got the wood walls. They're not great. I mean, it's more like an early warning system, if anything. I'm quite confident in this wall here. The enemy's handling of siege hasn't been incredible, so fairly certain that I'll be able to repel whatever attacks they want to bring. And going into the Imperial Age, I do have Arbaletier on my mind, because standard archers are okay, but the Arbaletier, the camels are all light. Like, they don't really have any heavy armor units, but the Arbaletier have such high armor and great base attack that they're just better. They're straight up better. The Arbaletier is an absolutely fantastic unit, and they're honestly my favorite French unit. The Royal Knight is a mainstay, but I feel like the Arbaletier is really the game closer. Like, that's a unit that is good versus pretty much anything. Even if you're going up against Streltsky later in the game or something like that, like another really hardcore range unit that that should be cost effective against them. Once you get the Pavise up, or like a hand cannoneer, they go from like a 2-shot kill to a 3-shot kill. And that can make all the difference, because, you know, with the Arbaletier having the upgrade for the increased fire rate, you're going to see a lot of, you know, just keeping them alive for a few more seconds can get 1 or 2 extra shots off, which means that they're more cost effective. And they're really not that expensive too when you're making them from buildings next to people. So I have stables up, I have knights, I'm at 200 out of 200. I'm fairly certain that I should be making cannons out of this College of Artillery soon. The Royal Institute is researching gambesons and crossbow stirrups. I should have built a second blacksmith, honestly, but I do eventually get all these upgrades. I'm more focusing on the front line, because as you can see, a fight has broken out. Yellow has his infantry going in, his men-at-arms are fully upgraded, they have fantastic attack and defense. His Tower War Elephants are going in to start damaging the keep, which is good. We want to get that down. My knights have a decent surround on these longbowmen, trying to get those out, and the veteran archers are coming in for a little bit of fire support. I did have some siege workshops up, and I was starting to research stuff. I think that they do manage to get these researches off. I don't know why I did that instead of making, you know, units, but yeah, wasn't my best. The archers here are elite upgraded, and I'm fairly certain that I should have elite arbalesters coming up soon. And I'm moving on to this gold pile. I'm hoping that because I have this big presence over here, they're not going to, like, there's no direct line of attack from wherever blue's situated to me. So I'm just going to keep Hail Marying these villagers and more than pay for themselves, and honestly, I have like too much villager population, so there's worse things that could happen than these villagers getting killed. This gold vein's down. The trade is still going quite strong, and they are bringing back 87 gold each trip, so it could be a lot worse. Yes, and the Arbala trees are coming out. I'm starting to build them on Moss. Or on Mass? On Moss. I don't know. I'm playing the French, so on the Moss. And we have elite Arbalesters coming. We have both armor upgrades and plate cutter points on the way. I'm super confident at this point. One thing I did forget to do until the very end is build a university. So it's good to note that, like, anything you see here, I don't have the university upgrade, so I'm losing out on like 20% damage on these Arbalesters, but they're still putting in work. The Royal Knights are more or less, because they're taking so much damage from the cavalry, they're more or less a distraction, but yellow comes in with the perfect wave of these spearmen, which, if I remember correctly, the Delhi Sultanate does have extra range on their spears. Unless I'm mistaken. Maybe not. No. Okay. No, I think that's actually, that might be the Abbasid. But, alright. I think that's nope. Bombards. Yes, yellow does bring in the bombards, which is great because that's some good fire power that we needed. I did not have the population room for siege at this point. I was more or less just focused on getting super effective trades, taking out blue siege, just basically clearing the way so that my Arbaletres can get just open fire. Like, it's ridiculous how much damage these things do once they get going, even without fire arrows. We have a lot of DPS coming out with their fire rate and their damage. If there was any like heavy enemies on the enemy team, we'd be doing fantastic, because the crossbowman's bonus versus heavy more or less is just there to cancel out the damage that they lose against their armor, but still that's great, because it just means that, you know, they're effectively doing a lot more DPS. I'm starting to do what I prefer to do as the French, which I have a lot of stone in my pocket. I want to start building keeps, as many keeps as I can around their base, so that we have a fallback point if we need it. Yellow is moving in with his siege and his units. I need to move up my Arbaletres, and I have my knights coming. Yeah, see. I'm not attack walking for some reason. Elite spears. I do have a singular royal cannon that is about to... Yeah, we take those. There we go. Great. Yeah, no, I need that here. Sadly, the Royal, or not the Royal Institute, the College of Artillery never actually got my other bombard out because I never had the population. At this point, my army does end up taking a lot of losses. We really do have them. Here, let's go ahead and take a look at the whole map. We really do have them on the ropes, because they've been trying to put the fight to us a lot, and they were doing what they were supposed to do. But the issue is that they did not get the killing blow on yellow, and then they didn't get the killing blow on me. So now, we got 3 bombard cannons. One of them's a royal cannon, so I mean that is 20% bonus damage there. That one cannon can do a lot of damage. We do have elite crosswomen out for blue, which is a good idea because the longwomen are great, but versus the royal knights, probably better off trying to get the crossbows out. But those crossbows are no match for my boys. That's for certain. At this point, we're just raising blue stuff. See, red does try to come around and get me, but let's take a look at the spearmen. They do 12 damage, and the arbaletier has 10 melee armor. So, you know, look at all those spears poking this guy down. It takes quite a lot of effort for them to get one kill. In the meantime, these guys are trading a lot of damage back. So, again, the arbaletiers are really a force to be reckoned with once they get fully upgraded. If I do remember correctly, I did notice that the enemy, I saw that the enemy had a university at some point. I remember that building existed, so I do have incendiary arrows and chemistry coming, which, you know, this is pretty much a victory lap at this point. So I'm just going to double up speed. I mean, spoilers, last 3 minutes. I shred them. We shredded them, actually. Yellow really helped. It didn't seem like much, because Yellow's military contributions were not as obvious as mine, at least to me. However, when the time came, you know, he brought just enough units to the fray each time just to fend off the enemy. And then during those last pushes, his elephants and his spearmen, his infantry, and his siege, honestly, were really just the secret to taking out the enemy's base in the middle of the map in the mid-game and securing victory. Yeah, there you go. So this is about a half an hour long. I'm not going to bother editing or anything. I sped it up when I felt like I needed to and all that, but I might have rambled in a couple of points, but I just wanted to get a game out there just so I could show it to people if they want to know what the game's like and they want to see, you know, me playing it. I'm definitely not like a super good player, but I do have like a lot of, not competitive experience, but I played real-time strategy games over the course of most of my life, so I plan on getting a lot of games in this game. I've been really enjoying it, and if I have any good matches, I will record those too. Because I don't know if there's actually a way to save replays in this game, so, you know, this may be the only way to, again, like I said, to keepsake matches. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again later.